Hello, welcome to chapter 29, jQuery fade and slide animation methods, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In this session, we're going to learn how to fade and slide the HTML elements on the web page with the help of fade and slide methods. So here comes a list of fade methods. They are fadeIn, fadeOut, fadeTo and fadeToggle. And apart from that, we also have the slide animation methods. They are slideUp, slideDown and slideToggle. So as of now, let us understand what do you mean by fadeIn, fadeOut, fadeTo and fadeToggle. So let me jump into Visual Studio and let me show you a demo there. So here you can observe we have a do element, okay, and the content is hello world within that. And to the do element I've written a styles, the styles of border 5 pixels solid blue, and the background color is orange, text align is center, height 100 pixel and width is 100 pixel. So apart from that, I have a button. So the button value is click me, and the button is having a ID, and the ID name is my button. So my objective as of now is to fade the HTML elements on the web page. So I'm going to use all these methods present here: fade in, fade out, fade to and fade toggle. So let us understand each of them very clearly. So let me jump to Visual Studio. Now let me push this page to the browser. When I press Ctrl F5, I'll get a button as well as the do element on the web page. So here we have a button as well as a div element. Now on the click of this button, this element has to fade out or fade in, fade to and fade toggle. Now these are the respective methods we're going to apply to this div element, and let us see how it is going to work. So first let me identify the button. So button is having a ID, so I have to tell dollar. The ID of the button is my button dot click. So here I'm calling anonymous function. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to identify a button with this ID, and I'm attaching a click event. Once the user clicks the button, what should happen is it has to identify the div element directly by the tag name. So and after that it needs to apply the fade out method. So what the fade out method does is it just fade outs the HTML element. As of now it's a do element. So let me go back and let me refresh. Now when I click on this button, this element will fade out. You can observe this very clearly. And to this fade out method I can pass the duration. Let me pass 2000 milliseconds. In the sense, right now let me refresh it. Now when I click on this button, this do element will fade out in 2000 milliseconds. You can observe here. So this is what the difference between the empty fade out method and the parameter we are passing here is duration. So this takes 2000 milliseconds to complete the fade out the fade out effect. You can observe here. Apart from that, the duration we can also pass the parameters that is fast. So let me refresh. You can observe the div element faded out very fastly. And apart from that, we also have the parameter called slow, the value slow. So it takes, let me refresh, it takes some time to fade out. That is the difference between fast and slow. And apart from that, what else we can give to this fade method? So we can define our own custom speed. So let me define a custom speed dollar dot fx dot speeds. Here I'm passing super slow. I'm defining my own speed. By default, jQuery provides you two speed things, that is fast and slow. Right now I'm defining my own speed, and the speed name is super slow. I'll specify it 6000 milliseconds. In the sense, to this I can pass that super slow. Control S. Let me go back and let me refresh. Now when I click on this, you can observe that div element fades in 6000 milliseconds. So in the sense, we can define our own custom speeds. By default, jQuery gives you two values, that is slow and fast. And this is what about the fade out is, and this is what the parameters it takes. And apart from the fade out, we also have fade in. So what it does, it brings the element on the web page. So what I'll do as of now, let me remove this, my own custom method, and here I'll tell like it should fade out in 2000 milliseconds and it should come back, in the sense it should fade in, okay, within 1000 milliseconds as soon as the user clicks the button. We control S, we go back and let me refresh. Now when I click, it's fade out, and again it comes back in 1000 milliseconds. This is called fade in. Okay, and we have something called fadeTo. So if you want to adjust the opacity on the fade effect, okay, then we can make use of this fadeTo. Let me show you how it works. So you can observe, I'm calling the fadeTo method. It takes two parameters. Okay, one is like the duration, it is 2000 milliseconds. The other thing is it takes the opacity. Okay, the opacity value I'm going to specify it as 0.5. Control S, let me go back and let me refresh. When I click on this, you can observe the animation is happening within 2000 milliseconds, and it has added the opacity to that element, that is 0.5. Okay, this is what the fadeTo does. And fadeToggle, okay, let me remove this. Okay, this is what we did, like fade out 2000 and fade in is 1000 milliseconds. Okay, control S, let me go back and let me refresh. When I click on this, it is fading out and it brings in with the help of fade in method. Instead of fade in, we can also go with, okay, toggle, in the sense if your element is fade out, it brings that, or if your element is fade in, it fades out. This is the advantage of using this toggle method. Let me go back and let me refresh. When I click on this, you can observe the fade out and again it fades in. Right now it's not happening. Why? Because I have specified the name. Okay, it's not toggle, it's fadeToggle. Sorry for that. I'll specify the duration like within 1000 seconds. Let me click on that. It fades out and it comes back, okay, within span of 1000 milliseconds. This is the advantage of using all these methods. It is fade in, fade out, fadeTo, and fadeToggle. Okay, now let me come to the next set, that is slideUp, slideDown, and slideToggle. So let me show you what is the advantage of using the slideUp. Let me remove this. Now let me call slideUp. I'm just telling like this div has to slide up. Let me click on this. You can observe the div element, it slided up. Okay, now to this div element I can pass the duration, like it should slide up within a span of 2000 milliseconds. So let me refresh. Now you can observe the slide up, it's happening within a span of 2000 milliseconds. Okay, this is the advantage of using this slide up. Okay, to this slide up we can also pass the jQuery default speeds, that is fast. Okay, it happened very fastly, and apart from that you have another jQuery built-in speed, that is slow. Okay, and apart from that you can define your own custom speeds. Let me show you that also. $.fx.speeds, here I'm going to pass, okay, my speed name is slow. It is super slow, it's not slow, it's super slow, and I'm going to tell the speed of that, it is 6000 milliseconds. Then here I'm going to pass this super slow, and it's going to slide up with this speed, my custom speed, that is 6000 milliseconds. You can observe it's sliding up within a span of 6000 milliseconds. I have defined my own custom speed, that is super slow. This is how you can define your own custom speed, and this is what slide up and slide down. Okay, what do you mean by slide down? Let me show you that also. Let me remove this. Okay, now let me tell, like it should slide up within 2000 milliseconds, and again it should slide down. It should slide down within a span of, okay, 1000 milliseconds. Control S, let me go back and let me refresh. You can observe the slide up is happening and slide down within a span of 1000 milliseconds. This is the advantage of using this slide down. And slide toggle, it works similarly to slide down. Okay, if the element is slide up, it brings down, or if it is down, it pushes the element up. That is the advantage of using the slide toggle. it's going up, and the toggle effect it brings down. Okay, this is the advantage of using these methods. Okay, we also saw a beautiful demo of them, that is the fade and the slide animation methods. So thank you for listening. Have a great day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel Ankpro Training. You can also like our Facebook page visiting this URL. You can also follow us on Twitter for further reference of our websites. We are on LinkedIn too. Last but not the least, please don't forget to give the feedback. Thank you. Have a great day.